This is an exciting session especially on app building. One of the things that's very challenging in post multi-tenant world is that how and what tools do we have to build custom apps. Most of our clients, most of our prospective clients have this question, is that what tools do we have at our disposal if we want to build small apps, little bit bigger apps. How do we integrate it with our M3 ecosystem? So to answer all these questions, today we have an esteemed panel of experts, and let me introduce them. On my extreme right is Ashish, who is a principal consultant specializing on Mongoose and factory track applications. After that, we have Sharat, who is a senior consultant at Doppio Group, and he's an expert in experience designer and enterprise application integration. And then next to me is Santosh, who at Doppio Group has an extensive experience in building apps through H5 SDK or H5 app, as we call it in regular parlance. So Ashish, let me start with you first. One of the tools that Infor provides to build standalone applications is Mongoose. So talk us through what is the Mongoose framework about, and how does that work with Infor M3?
So hello, good afternoon everyone, and thank you so much for this question, Pranav. Since decades, I think we all know that ERPs always go hand in hand with integrations, customizations, and enhancements. So basically, I mean, even if a particular vendor comes up with all the functionalities inside ERP, there would be always a different way of doing their own processes with the different customers, right? So here comes a very good application which is developed by Infor, which is called as Mongoose, and this application enables the customers to have interactive screens, not only just the interactive screens, but the whole applications that they can use, and they can implement, they can build and use it for their daily purpose. So for an example, I mean, I have seen certain challenges in past, like for an example, for the textile industries, where in M3 there is no process or no standard screen to develop the fabric construction. So I mean, for an example, if I tell you, if there is a checks pattern shirt, then that pattern has to be somewhere created, right? So inside M3 there was no such screen where you would be able to put some threads from one end to another end in a different color, so that creates a particular pattern. So those kind of things were not available in the standard M3 ERP. So on those and during those time, I'm talking about 7 years, 8 years before time, where there was no Mongoose, which was widely used. So at that point of time, we used to do the MAK customizations, and MAK customizations, we all know that certain restrictions, like there are only 256 characters that we can cater in the subfile. So all those limitations are very easily handled inside the Mongoose applications. So the customers can build the interactive screens, they can develop their own e-card solutions, they can develop their own. I mean, if you know, the Sideline ERP is also built on the Mongoose platform itself. So we have done a lot of customizations, enhancements in the Mongoose application, and I would like to take one particular example here. Like for one of the US-based biggest Mexican food company, they already had a requisition system which is built on the Mongoose. So like they have so many users, and users would definitely need something for their daily operations, like it is a pencil or a paper or a laptop or a table, everything. So they have so many different suppliers who provide those particulars to the customer. So they built a requisition system, but the one thing that they lacked was the item names. Like for an example, the item that was referred inside the M3 system was different into their supplier systems. So that was a main challenge for them, because the user doesn't know the table that they call as an ABC item in M3. How do they map that particular item from the supplier side? So in such cases, the integration comes in a very easier way. So what we did is, whenever a particular supplier was selected, like we all have, like if you refer a standard OIS 300 or PPS 200 screen, where you can create the headers and then you can add the lines one by one. But then while creating the header, you would select the supplier, right? So in the same way, under the requisition system that client had built, they had created a drop-down menu where you can select a particular supplier. Now on the top of it, we as a Doppio added a value addition that whenever one particular supplier, which is nothing but the staples, is selected, automatically you would be directed to the portal of the staples punch out itself, like you are doing a shopping on the Amazon itself. So once you select your items that you want to purchase and do a checkout, the whole entry from their system would come back to the Mongoose application itself. So you don't have to worry about the item names. You can just recognize the items by the pictures itself. So you can just select the item based on the pictures. You can add the quantity and just do a checkout. The whole details would follow back to your Mongoose system. So that was the kind of integration that we have developed with the help of Mongoose. So many other integrations as well. But I definitely like this integration a lot, because this integration has involved a CXML file, which
very
unique feature, because all the suppliers doesn't use this kind of integration. So Mongoose was capable of handling those requirements as well.
So as you mentioned, Sightline, which is also built on Mongoose framework, I think Factory Track is also loosely built on Mongoose framework, right?
Yes.
So what has been Doppio's expertise or Doppio's experience with implementing Factory Track?
So the Factory Track is definitely built on Mongoose platform itself, and it has so many, and the way M3 has different programs, the Factory Track has different forms. So if you see the slide itself, it is very easily connected to M3 itself, and again Factory Track can be connected to other ERPs as well. So it is also connected to Allen as well. So like there are so n number of shop floor operations are going on inside the warehouses, and then there are shipping activities which are going on. And again, customers have their own specific way of doing the transactions. Like for an example, if I take a certain example of here, where while doing the purchase order receipt, the customer wanted to generate the containers in their own preferred way, the container number management system. So we developed an Extend M3 solution for creating the containers, and then we called that Extend M3 API inside the Factory Track, and used it in a way that it fits the bill for the customer. So there are a number of ways we can use the Factory Track.
So I think, Doppio has, at least in my memory, in the last 12 months, we have had 4 or 5 Factory Track implementations that, we have been part of and we have implemented.